Introducing money to kids at an early age is such a great idea. If this appeals to you, which I'm sure it does because you're here reading this or listening to me, then you're probably thinking along the lines of ways to get them to count their change, make their first store transaction, and things like that. Great places to start, but how about we go one step further than that? Many parents who try to instill the value of saving money into their young kids run butt up against the problem of how to get them excited about money that sits in a savings account. I mean, it just sits there. They can't touch it or hold it or use it to purchase new things in their lives. True, they can see the growth on a savings account statement if you were to show it to them. But let's face it, numbers lay pretty flat on a page. So perhaps you've gone the money jar route with money in their pockets or in a clear money jar. They can at least see whether the dollars seem to be growing bigger or not. And if they take money out to buy a new video game, then they can physically see that the money jar is now much emptier than before. However, there are two issues with the money jar. First off, money sitting in a jar is not earning interest, which is a missed money opportunity, plus a missed money lesson opportunity. Also, money in a jar becomes quite tempting to tap when the ice cream man jingle rings. Psst, check out the most unique piggy banks for kids here in case a piggy bank is where you want to go, linked to below. But getting them really excited about money growing in a location they can't physically see or touch, a savings account, let alone the amazing effects of compound interest, is pretty difficult. So what gets kids excited about saving money? What is going to get your kid excited about saving money is a lot like what gets adults excited about saving money: seeing the numbers go up. Except for one difference. Adults drool over saving statements, understanding that money increasing in value is exciting. But kids? Well, that's a whole different story. They drool over holding money, having some sit in their wallet, being able to touch it, and being given the power of choice that comes with money. Saving statements are 1D and kids live in 3D. They want tangible things and they don't necessarily latch onto abstract concepts like compound interest working for them around the clock, which is pretty exciting. Actually, lots of adults don't latch onto that either. On top of that, kids' savings accounts typically grow at a much smaller rate than adult ones. It's not like they're out there working from 9 to 5, right? So they have less money to fund their accounts overall, and this is why getting their savings statement every so often, when they actually remember to show it to them, isn't going to be really exciting either. Womp womp. Who would jump and holler over 10 cents in interest earnings? Well, besides money geeks like me. Let's work on linking your kids' savings account money with a different kind of visual so that they get interested in saving their money from the start because they can associate it to actual growth. Nail this and they'll send a lot more of the green stuff to their bank account, I promise you. So we're going to pair a growth chart with money growth. I've got this really cool idea for how kids can track their savings growth right alongside their own growth, all at the same time. It's using a growth chart. You know, that nifty giraffe-like chart you swore you'd fill out with them on a regular basis as they went from crawler to walker to runner. The idea is, just as kids are excited to see how much they've grown from month to month, watching their savings account grow with a vertical visual is going to up the cool factor on saving money. And by the way, your kiddo doesn't have to have a bank account yet. No worries at all on there. I'll link to below in case they don't have a savings account so that you can get started on that even if your baby is no longer a baby. So how the money growth chart works: use your growth chart as an actual growth chart, but make one minor adjustment. On the other side, create tick marks evenly spaced apart all the way. By the way, I'm using the Munster growth chart from Oh Bessie, which conveniently has those tick marks already laid out. At the top of this column, write in money growth. Each tick mark on this side is going to be worth $5. You can write this in pencil. If you want to change it later, then you can just erase it. Here are the steps for using this money growth chart. You pick a consistent time duration. So you want to choose a consistent time duration to do the marks, such as once a month, twice a year, annually, etc. You're going to log into your child's savings account. Before you get ready to do this, you log in and you find out their new balance. Then you're going to mark their height measurement, which is on the right side of this chart. And you're going to chart your child's growth just like you normally would. So you record the date and create the tick mark. Your child will be amazed by how much they've grown since you last measured their height, and you probably will as well. Mark their money measurement next. So each tick mark on the left side is going to be worth $5. I chose this small amount because it's helpful for them to still see some progress, even when their savings isn't growing really rapidly. Mark where their new savings account balance is with a date next to it. Let them color in a column you just created. So if they're up here, they can color in the column all the way up there. And check the amount of their current savings statement, then count up the tick marks and estimate where they're at so that they can associate the idea of money being able to grow just like they grow. So FYI, if your child is beyond the age of thinking that you measuring and tracking their growth is cool, then hijack their growth chart and use it solely as a money chart tracker. They'll likely get much more excited about that. So ideas you can use to make this even cooler. There are several ways that you can adjust this chart for your own use and make it even cooler for your kiddos. For example, you can use it for a specific money goal. So on the growth chart, you can fill in a specific savings goal that your child may have, such as a video game, a charitable goal, a trip to the bookstore, something like that. You can write this savings goal out. I would do so in pencil, as their savings goal might change even mid-goal, and you want to be able to erase it easily. And not sure what they want to save for? Help them come up with the best savings goal for them with a one-page savings goal guide I'm going to link to below this video. You can visually separate out the free money they're getting. So if your kid sees compound interest in action, then they're going to get pretty excited. You want to explain to them that since their money is at the bank pays them for it. So you're going to fill in your savings money growth from actual money they've contributed, and then use a different colored pen or marker to show them the free money the bank paid them for their own money. You can put the extra money earned in a different color on top of the other color, sort of like the icing on the cake. You can time their measurements with a trip to the bank. So after updating the money growth side of the chart, you can take advantage of your child's peaked excitement over how their money has grown by having them gather up all their loose change and dollars to physically go to the bank with. And you guys can make a deposit. And you can display their money growth chart in a prominent location where they can see both their own growth progress as well as that of their savings account. Who knows, this one step might be just the thing that turns your child into a savings growth monster.